Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new video and a new playlist. This video is going to be under the December Lives playlist and the Decimal Lives playlist. So again, you can find this video under two different playlists, the Decimal Lives playlists and the December Lives playlist on my channel. First video of December Lives. So I'm going to be covering in the December Lives playlist, it'll be everything that we're learning in school in the month of December. All right, so for this video, we're rocking with decimals. So I have two different shapes here. I'm going to write what each shape represents as a fraction and as a decimal. So I'm going to write what the shaded area of this shape represents as a fraction. Then I'm going to write what the shaded area of this shape represents as a decimal. So to determine what it represents as a fraction, I got to count the total number of parts, and then I got to count how many parts are shaded. So the denominator, the bottom is the total number of parts. So I'm going to count how many equal parts are in this square here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 total parts. And there is one part shaded blue. Now, even though this video is mainly focused on decimals, as a review, when we're determining a fraction, the mistake a lot of people make is they'll count how many are shaded and not shaded. Like they'll do this. They'll be like, okay, 9 are not shaded, 1 is shaded. That's not the right way to do it. You're not counting the number shaded and not shaded. You're counting the total number of parts, whether they're shaded or not. And then the numerator is how much is shaded. All right. So this 1/10 is what this shape would represent as a fraction. If I wanted to write 1/10 as a decimal, this is what it would look like. This is how you write 1/10 as a decimal. 0.1. All right. Now here, my second shape here, I'm going to again determine what the shaded portion of the square represents as a fraction. Then I'm going to write what the shaded portion represents as a decimal. So again, we always want to count the total number of parts. That's always what the denominator is. The denominator is the total number of parts. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 total parts in this shape. So that is the denominator. And if we're counting the amount of parts that are shaded, 1, 2. 2 parts are shaded. So there's 10 total parts in the shape, and 2 of them are shaded. So the fraction is 2/10. If I wanted to write 2/10 as a decimal, this is what 2/10 as a decimal would look like. So for 1/10, we would write a 0, put a decimal point, and write a 1. For 2/10, we would write a 0, put a decimal point, write a 2. So I'm thinking that you kind of know what the pattern is here, but let's say, I'm going to erase the shape now. Now that I shaded another part, let's say I wanted to represent this shape as a fraction and a decimal. So I have the same number of total parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 would be the denominator. That would not change. But now 3 parts are shaded. 1, 2, 3 are shaded blue. So the fraction would be 3/10. 3/10 is a decimal. would be written like this. You would write a 0, you write a decimal point, then you would write a 3. That is how you write 3/10 as a decimal. Now I'm going to keep going down the list here. So if I wanted to represent this shape as a fraction, there are now 4 parts that are shaded. There are still 10 total parts, so again, the denominator stays the same. And since 1, 2, 3, 4 parts are shaded, 4/10 would be what this shape represents as a fraction. And if I wanted to write 4/10 as a decimal, I would write a 0, I'd write a decimal point, and then I would put a 4 next to the decimal point. So this is 4/10 as a decimal, this is 4/10 as a fraction. So I think we have the hang of it now. Should I keep going? I'm debating. Should I keep going or should I call it a video and start playing soccer? I think you get the gist. I don't think I need to draw any more shapes, but I'm just going to write the equivalents here. I'm just going to write the fraction and decimal equivalents, and then we'll call it a video. So 1/10, that's 1/10 as a fraction. This would be 1/10 as a decimal. 2/10 as a fraction. This would be 2/10 as a decimal. Pull it closer here. You know what? That's 2/10 as a decimal. That light's messing up my swag. I'm gonna move this down. So that's 1/10 as a fraction. This would be 1/10 as a decimal. Two tenths is a fraction, 2/10 is a decimal. Three tenths is a fraction. 3/10 is a decimal. Four tenths is a fraction. 4/10 is a decimal. Five tenths is a fraction. 5/10 is a decimal. Now, unfortunately, my board is very small. I don't have enough space to fit all the numbers in here. So feel free to pause the video and copy this down. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to do that. Well, really, I don't need to give you 15 seconds because you can just pause the video, but I'm gonna just stay looking at the camera for another 7-8 seconds, and then I'm going to erase the board. So again, if you want to copy this down, feel free. I'm going to keep going with it. So here we go. 6/10. That's 6/10 is a fraction. I think you guys understand the pattern now, but for those who don't, we'll keep going. This is 6/10 is a decimal. I like changing color, it's fun. 7/10 is a fraction. 7/10 of the decimal. Eight tenths is a fraction. 8/10 of the decimal. Nine tenths is a fraction. Nine tenths is a decimal. So 9/10, that's like 9 out of 10. Very close to 1 whole, but not quite. This is how you write that as a fraction. This is how you write that as a decimal. Now, 10/10 is a little bit different. Feel free to pause the video and copy this down as well. The 11-minute and 30 mark, I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to show you how to write 10/10 of the decimal, because that's a little bit different. All right, here we go. So do I have... maybe I could write it above. So 10/10 would be a little bit different. Now, if we were continuing with the same pattern, you would think that this is how you would write 10/10 of the decimal, but that's wrong. That's not how you do it. 10, because 10/10 is equal to 1 whole. 10/10 would be equal to 1 whole. If somebody eats 10 out of 10 slices of pizza, they've eaten 1 whole pizza. So, to write 10/10 of the decimal, you would write 1.0. So for each of these, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, you just write a 0, you write a decimal point, and then you write the number next to the decimal point. But when you get to 10 out of 10, anytime the top number in a fraction, the bottom number in a fraction is the same, anytime the numerator and denominator is the same, it's equal to 1 whole. So this is what 1 whole, this is how you would write 1 whole as a decimal, 1.0. All right. That is my video today. I did some soccer juggling earlier. I'm going to keep practicing. I ended up getting 5 juggles, but I've only done it once. I kind of want to make that a routine thing. So I'm going to give it, it's late, so I'm not going to go as long, but 3 more minutes. 3 minutes of juggling here. Here we go. It took a long time to get started. It really is 2 minutes of juggling. 16-minute mark, I'm going to stop. Here we go. 1. 1, 2, 3. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4 that time. 1. Ay, Dios mío. 1, 2, 3. Working on them soccer skills. Powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting are my sports now. It's not soccer, but versatility is the name of the game. I want to try to be at least decent at everything. Ay, Dios mío. 1, 2, 3. Balance. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. 2. Yeah. 20 seconds left. 21 there. Oh, I don't want to end on just one. Come on now. It's okay to do a little extra. All right, 2. I got 2 on the last one. All right, that is my video for today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Leave a message in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful. If there's another area of math that you're struggling with, write an example of a math problem that you're struggling with in the comments. I will do that on a future video. Same with reading or reading comprehension. If there's a comprehension skill that you're having a tough time with, whether it be compare and contrast, story elements, fact opinion, write that in the comments. I will do a future video on that at some point. Have a great evening, and I will see you all on Monday.